Automotive trend.
(2016) Kawasaki ZX-10R. After much anticipation, despite the rest of the world, and the international motoring media, getting first dibs on it at Sepang, Kawasaki Malaysia has finally launched the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R. At a media ride in Sepang International Circuit, the 2016 ZX-10R was launched without much fanfare, but with a sense of purpose and direction from Kawasaki Malaysia, eager to show the local motoring media crowd exactly what this race-oriented superb bike is capable of. While visually resembling the 2015 Kawasaki ZX-10R, the 2016 ZX-10R is pretty much a new bike from the ground up. According to Kawasaki Malaysia's marketing manager Stephen Ho, every nut and bolt was looked at in terms of improving performance. This included input from Kawasaki racing team KRT rider and 2015 World Superbike WSBK champion Jonathan Aurier and the team's cumulative racing experience, which has seen it win WSBK championships since 2012. Of note is the suspension, developed together with Showa, despite the suspension company being owned by Honda. With Brembo M50 monoblock brakes lifted off Kawasaki's H2 and H2R supercharged hyperbikes, the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R is very much a track-oriented weapon tamed, somewhat, for the streets. This track competence includes a whole suite of ride electronics, both to enhance the riding experience, and keeping the ZX-10R's power under control. During the media test ride, we were allowed to ride the ZX-10R on 3 different sessions, with the bikes in 2 different riding modes, and the 3rd session reserved for a rider custom mode. Come with us as we take you on the first ride of the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R. At first approach, the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R gives off an aggressive, purposeful aura. There is no mistaking this bike for a cuddly teddy bear. The hard planes, sharp folds and fairing cutouts all give the ZX-10R the look of a bike that is supposed to go fast, and very seriously so. That the ZX-10R is designed for the track is immediately apparent when getting into the cockpit. The clip-ons place the hands into a tucked-in reefs position, and the rider's legs and knees are folded up onto the high-set foot pegs. The first session on the ZX-10R was with the bike in low mode. As one of 3 ride modes, the low setting on the ZX-10R lets the engine rev up to the 13,000 RPM redline, but only 60%, or about 124 HP, is available. Riding the bike on low power around the newly resurfaced track at Sepang was very controllable and safe. We dare say that in low, any rider would be able to control and ride the ZX-10R well. This included a very compliant and competent shock suspension, and braking that was linear and controllable. Rushing the ZX-10R down the back straight saw it touch the shade below 200 km/h before dropping the anchors for the now off-camber turn 15. Cornering was found to be very predictable, and more importantly, stable. Any new rider, with a little riding experience, could probably ride and control the ZX-10R in low mode. Taking the flip-flop from turns 5 and 6 showed the 2016 ZX-10R, which weighs 206 kilograms, 6 kilograms more than the 2015 model, needed a little more heft to make the transition. Slow corners, like 9 and 15, also needed a little more effort from the rider to make the turn in. Conversely, fast sweepers, like 5 and 13, were taken care of with little more than a thought and a nudge on the bars. The shape of the seat and tank allowed the rider to change body position uneasily, and the arms and legs intuitively fell into place on the bike. Going out for the second session, with the 2016 ZX-10R in hard mode, changed the nature of the motorcycle entirely. Where 120 HP in low mode made the ZX-10R docile and a little, dare we say it, dull, hard mode made the bike feel more like, well, the bike. With all 200-ish HP now being given free rein, charging into the corners, and slingshooting out again, was performed with the precision of a Swiss watch. Dropping in and choosing the line was a matter of looking where you wanted to go, placing the gearbox in the right gear, and twisting the throttle open as quick as you dared. The 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10S electronics come into full play here, was the IMU measuring bike movement in 5 axes, and computing a sixth, allowing it to manage engine power and braking, as well as controlling traction at the rear. This let the rider take corners with absolute confidence. Power on the straights, gunning for the red line, builds with a rush, and a fast foot, aided by the quick shifter, is needed to keep the gearbox in sync with the engine. The engine power comes on in a linear fashion, and the ZX-10S electronic suite takes care of wheelies, wheel spin and traction. On hard mode, taking the corners needed full trust placed in the traction control, and the little computer brain delivered. Some half-fisted handling of gear changes and throttle, along with a slightly idiotic line into turn 9, didn't phase the electronics out at all. For the third session, test riders were allowed to chat with the mechanics about selecting ride modes, quick shifter engagement points and other customization options for the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R. The amount of adjustment available on the bike is staggering, with suspension, launch mode engagement and other options on the table for the rider to choose from. One option that was missed was a racing shift pattern on the shift lever, something that only comes with the official Kawasaki race kit. The shift lever was rather short, and due to our rider having to deal with a lack of mobility in the left ankle due to an old riding injury, meant that upshifts were a touch difficult, especially at racetrack speeds. About halfway through the third session, it was noticed the brake lever was coming back to the bar a little too much. Pulling into the pits and checking with the Kawasaki mechanics showed the pads were a little overcooked, due to the many laps the bike took on the track. A special mention about the Kawasaki Malaysia mechanics who looked after the author during the track session. The guys were switched on, and well trained. Questions and adjustment requests were handled with no argument, and if what was requested couldn't be done, it was clearly explained why. The 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R retails for $100 for $859, including GST. Rivals to the ZX-10R include the BMW Motorrad S1000RR, which goes for $100 for $900 including GST, road tax and registration, excluding insurance, and the Ducati 1299 Panigale, which retails for $170 to $999 including GST, on the road without insurance. Overall, we came away with a favorable impression of the 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R after the track test session. It is very much a racetrack weapon, and honed to deliver performance above all. We shall be spending some time with the ZX-10R for a full review shortly, and we'll be finding out more about this hard-edged superb bike in due course. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.